everybody out there? This is Popular Stranger, and we are back at you again today with another Madden 24 Ultimate Team video. In today's video, we're going to be going over the best abilities to be using right now on offense in MUT 24. Now, quick disclaimer, before we go over the best abilities, I am currently in Las Vegas, like right now, by the time you're watching this video, attending the Super Bowl, so this is pre-recorded before weekly wildcards, the Black History Month promo, and the Super Bowl pass portion of the Super Bowl promo have dropped. So some cards or some players that maybe got discounted abilities on offense will not be included in this video, but we're going to go over the abilities you should be looking for, and I like to break it down by positional group. So we're going to be using MUT.GG/abilities to be specific. This is a great reference for anything ability-wise. They rank it from elite to gold to silver and so forth, but I'm going to put my own spin on it and go over the best abilities. So we're going to start at the quarterback position. There's about 3 to 4, maybe even 5 abilities that you want to focus on for your quarterback. Now, I'm going to mention pass lead elite, but there's only a handful of quarterbacks that get it right now. This will become the go-to ability eventually on quarterbacks as they get a better discount, but as you can see right now, it's pretty much 4 AP for everybody across the board, which isn't terrible because when we talk about set feet lead, it's going to be more expensive in some cases, but a lot of the players that can get it right now, it's in the same ability bucket as other useful abilities, so I wouldn't worry right now about pass lead elite, but it will be something going forward very soon that's going to become a staple in Madden Ultimate Team for your quarterback. For now though, and again, this is personal preference, but you're putting yourself at a disadvantage if you pass the ball a lot and your quarterback does not have set feet lead. It simply gets the ball into tighter spots quicker, and it can open up your passing game a ton. There's a lot of quarterbacks now that get it. A lot of them are getting it at a discount. Most recently, we had an AKA Kurt Warner that came out this past Monday. He gets it for 3 AP. You see Jordan Love, Air McNair, Doug Williams, probably the 3 best quarterbacks in the game right now, in my opinion. They all get it for 4 AP. So whether you're paying the 5 AP for it or the 4 AP for it, I think this is a must-have ability on your quarterback right now. This one might also be a personal preference for a lot of you, but Gunslinger is highly recommended in my opinion. Unless you're using a quarterback that gets a traditional 4 release like Air McNair, Doug Williams, Andrew Luck, just to name a couple, you're probably going to need this. And that even goes for Slinger 1 quarterbacks like Michael Vick, Jordan Love. It's going to give you an increased pass animation speed. It basically gets the ball out quicker. This plus set feet lead is a really good combination. You can see there's a lot more quarterbacks out there with this at a discount. Refrigerator Perry, Jared Goff, they get it for 0 AP. A bunch of guys get it for 1 AP. And when we talk about ability stacks on quarterbacks, there's a couple that get a stack of Hot Route Master, set feet lead, and Gunslinger all together. Air McNair gets it for 8. Playoff Josh Allen gets it for 8. Doug Williams gets it for 7. He can technically get it with 5 if you use the light up token on him. So a bunch of different options there, but I think between Hot Route Master, Gunslinger, set feet lead, those are going to be the main 3 abilities you want to focus on for your quarterback. Hot Route Master, don't feel like you need to use it. It's really only, is your offense going to improve by having it? If it's not, if you don't switch up your routes a lot, don't bother with this one. Don't equip it just to equip it if you're not finding yourself using it. And then the last one I'll probably go over here is going to be Gift Wrap, which this has been an ability since day 1 here. We've seen a handful of quarterbacks get it for 0 AP. By standard, it's just 1 AP, so it doesn't cost too much. I played without it since basically Zero Chill Jalen Hurts, and could I have used it in some situations? Absolutely, but I feel like I'm okay without it now because we're seeing wide receivers and tight ends and running backs with a higher catch rating, and it's not going to save you from like the deep out zone and deep in zone KOs by having that. It's really just to help with wide open passes, and players just aren't dropping the ball as much as they were several months ago. So as of right now, and I think this is going to change really quickly, when it comes to running backs, the dominant X factor, which can be treated as an ability, is going to be Freight Train. So the AKA promo has been giving us a lot of these players that start with abilities on, and they've been rehashing cards from Madden 23. I would not be surprised at all if we see a Quad Father or a Gus Bus or even that Cordero Patterson with the flash ability. It's an X factor, but it's acting as if it's an ability. So for running backs, you know, that's something to look forward to. Right now, Derrick Henry gets like an Angry Runs X factor that starts on. That's about the closest thing to it. Wrecking Ball for the Icky Woods card, but it's just not as good. So for me, the best abilities for a running back, number 1, if you pass the ball a ton like I do, you're going to like running back apprentice. Now, if you have a Hot Route Master quarterback, you don't need this. But if you don't, this opens up the passing game, especially against man coverage, which can be tough to beat at times. You get that Texas angle route, you get a flat route, a table route. This can help you manipulate the defense and get people open. So running back apprentice is worth it if you find that you're passing a lot more than you're running. If you're running a lot more than you're passing, I will tell you this. So evasive is, we're starting to see a few players get it for 1 AP. A lot of wide receivers, but Maurice Jones-Drew, Terrell Davis, two players that get evasive for 1 AP. Ball carriers with this ability have a stareable juke and spin animations. Basically, this one is like a amped up version of Jukebox. Now, if you can get evasive for 1 AP, you can fit it in that 8 AP total on offense. Go for it. If not, I would recommend taking a look at some running backs that get Jukebox for 1 AP. Juke move animations themselves are really overpowered this year, especially if you're not holding down the turbo button. And the Jukebox plus that little baby mini juke animation, really good combination. I didn't really play with this ability all year, didn't feel like it was needed, and I'm not saying you need to 100% have it, but if you can get a running back that gets it for 1, and potentially we could see some running backs with 0, it's a really good ability. The first one that I tried it on was James Cook, and wow, it made a huge difference. He could make people miss without it, but with it, every time you saw it light up, it just felt like it had some extra juice to it and made defenders miss often. So eventually Freight Train, right now evasive and Jukebox, and running back apprentice, probably the route to go for abilities on running backs. It seems like the power backs are a little bit left behind this year. I would wait and see what X factor / abilities get automatically turned on with AKA cards going forward. Let's talk about tight ends. There's not really much to these. I mean, tight end apprentice is out there. You got a free Kyle Pitts that some of you are probably going to be earning today or yesterday. I don't know what day I'm uploading this video just yet. He's going to get tight end apprentice for 1 AP. The LTD Travis Kelce, which is right around 1 million coins, he gets it for 0 AP. There's a handful of players that get it for 1, but you have to ask yourself again, are you really using these additional hot routes on your tight end to justify spending the 1 AP? And obviously, if you have Hot Route Master, you don't want to go ahead and use that. Other than that, I mean, you can take a look at like a red zone threat for your tight end. With that ability, when in the red zone, receivers with this ability have a better chance to win contested catches in single coverage. So when you're in the red zone, it can get a little clogged and cluttered, and it might be more difficult to get those one-on-one situations. But you see Tony Gonzalez, again, the Travis Kelce, those are a couple tight ends that get it. You see it on wide receivers for 2 AP out of only 8 on offense. I just simply don't think it's worth that. Let's move over to wide receivers. And, you know, I sound like a broken record here, my apologies, but for the most part, if you're using a Hot Route Master quarterback, the next ability isn't going to pertain to you. It's Slot Apprentice. If you're not using one and you're struggling against man coverage or just struggling on offense in general, Slot Apprentice will certainly open up that offense. Now, the good news is there's a free Hines Ward. You can only get him to a 93 overall for free, but from the Super Bowl welcome pack, he gets 0 AP Slot Apprentice. So you look at speed, you make a big deal about it, and rightfully so. Speed is the key in Madden Ultimate Team for the most part, but if he's a little bit slower and he still gets that 0 AP Slot Apprentice, very valuable card. There's a bunch of guys that are going to get it for 1 AP. Puka's LTD, Tyreek Hill, that 0 chill card, got it really early on with 95 speed. You get Chris Godwin, a really cheap budget option, Team of the Week card. And the cards I'm mentioning are starting to be a little bit older, so they're going to get phased out. But look to see for Slot Apprentice to be more occasional, or more frequent, I should say, on wide receivers for 1 AP, and I bet we start to see some of them get it for 0 AP. I think an ability that's going to make a comeback very, very soon now that we're starting to see some discounts on it. And again, I hate to sound like a broken record here, but Route Technician, if you're struggling against man coverage, will be the key. And the good news here is at that level, 44, 45, Jerry Rice that you can get for free, 95 overall from the Season 4 Field Pass, he gets it for 1 AP. He's a great slot option. He's a taller receiver. You can play him on the outside as well. So that's a W. I currently have it equipped on that brand new Torrey Holt card that came out this week. Pretty good card. That ability's been getting him open. Seems like he's been playing well. You see there's a bunch of guys that get it for 2. I probably wouldn't spend that much on it, but in going forward, we're probably going to see more receivers start to get it for 1 AP once the Super Bowl promo ends, Ultimate Legends come out, Team of the Year eventually happens. So this is one to keep an eye on if you're struggling against man coverage. A few other abilities to keep an eye on, but I wouldn't necessarily be using them right now, and their kind of carryovers from last year is going to be short and elite, which kind of worked like a route technician last year. The only problem with short and elite is there's a few guys that get it for 1 AP. After that, 2 AP to me is very expensive right now, again, when you're only limited to 8 on offense. So if we start to see guys get this for 0 and more guys get it for 1 AP, it might be worth looking at because it does light up on those shorter slant routes. And again, it will help you get away from man coverage a little bit. Same thing's going to go with short out elite, which last year was definitely one of the best abilities in the game. And the main reason it was is because it actually worked beyond 10 yards from the line of scrimmage. If you read the ability description there on your left-hand side, if you were press man coverage one-on-one and you had short out elite, you were typically winning that battle 99 out of 100 times. Now, the difference in Madden 24 is press coverage doesn't work very good. It'll occasionally work, but if you find yourself pressing a lot with no safety help over the top, you're going to get burnt, so you don't really need short out elite in that situation. And as you can see, there's only 2 players that get it at a discount, and it's still 2 AP. So this is another one to keep an eye out on, but I just don't think it's that valuable right now. Same thing goes for deep out elite, which is really good for taller receivers on the outside. It would animate more often. You get more aggressive catches. Receivers with this ability, which catch more consistently with catching passes 20 plus yards from the line of scrimmage. But again, you see a few people get it for 2 AP. Once it gets down to 1 or 0, it might be worth taking a look at. But when we're limited to 8 on on offense, I just still don't think it's worth it right now. And we'll close it out with offensive linemen, which I'm just going to say don't waste it. Once we start to see some 0 AP abilities and maybe we get like an identifier for 1 or a threat detector for 1 AP, it might be worth it. But, you know, we got post up as 1 AP on a bunch of guys. This is going to be more beneficial to those of you that pass a lot. Nasty streak is kind of like the opposite of it, which I'm not seeing under the gold list, so they probably have it under silver. Again, post up is better for passing. Nasty streak is going to be better for running the ball. Few guys get it there for 1 AP. Identifier is going to allow you to see what your opponent is doing on offense or on defense as far as their user. John Runyon getting it for 1 AP is not bad at all, considering he's one of the better right tackles in the game. I wouldn't waste it on the Darnell Washington card, which is just about phased out. But for now, I wouldn't be using my AP on the offensive line unless you run the ball like all the time and you really want to load up that offensive line with ability. So that's it. Those are the best abilities right now currently on offense. If there's any abilities that you're using that work really, really well and I left them off the list, feel free to let me know down below in the comment section. We'll be back with a separate video for the best abilities to be using on defense. But thank you so much for watching this one. My name is Popular Stranger. I'm out. Peace.